More than one-third of natural gas burned in the U.S. is coming from fracking wells instead of oil or coal. This has caused carbon emissions to dramatically reduce in the recent years.
It used to be that we had about a 60-year supply of natural gas, and we were worried that we were going to run out and that we would have to import natural gas. With hydraulic fracturing, we believe that we have a 100-year supply or more of natural gas. So it has really changed the picture of how much natural gas we have.
By 2020, if we produce our energy right here in the United States, we will surpass Saudi Arabia. Now think of that. That's a big change for the country to make us more energy secure, producing our own energy resources. So the technologies we use today to open up this vast resource of clean burning natural gas as well as oil is called hydraulic fracturing. But we couple that with horizontal drilling. So today we can drill at great depths and we can literally turn and go horizontally for extended periods, extended lapses of distance, where we can produce oil and natural gas like never before.
And what does that mean for us as a society? It means two important things for the environment. One, it means we can get off of coal for electric generation. Right now, about half of all of our electric generation comes from coal. Even here in Oregon, about 30% of our electric generation comes from coal. So with this natural gas, we can move quickly off of coal, and what that does is reduce greenhouse gases. Yeah.
President Obama praised the U.S. natural gas boom in a recent speech about climate change. Not only has fracking helped our environment, it has also helped our economy. It has made many jobs for people who need them and given money to people who have fracking done on their property.
In very positive ways, quite a few ways. One thing is it lowers the cost of energy for households. So for Portland, if there wasn't fracking, natural gas costs for households that use gas would be about $500 a year higher. To cover that, people would have to earn about $700 more a year in income. It has also moved about 1,100 households from poverty level to above poverty level by lowering energy.
One of the main reasons the United States has not stopped hydraulic fracturing due to all the environmental and health risks is because it has put the U.S. in lead for shale gas production. Fracking is less polluting than coal power, though it still raises environmental and health concerns, which have been disregarded by the government in most places.
I think there's pretty good evidence that certainly there's an environmental impact. Fracking uses an enormous amount of water, and water supply in a lot of the western states where it's being used is tight. And when that wastewater is then pumped out of the wells, the wastewater sits on site in ponds and can also affect, have an environmental impact on the surface. There is leakage. Whenever you have gas drilling, there's methane leaks, and there's greenhouse gases that escape. Methane is a greenhouse gas, and escapes into the environment. But that's true of most gas drilling.
Like every industrial process, fracking has impacts on the environment. Air, there's emissions of methane and other air pollutants as part of the process. And I would say land. It has a footprint to it when you're hydraulic fracturing, and that footprint can be large or it can be small, but that has impacts on a community, impacts on animals if it's in a rural area. So those are kind of the biggest categories of impacts. All of them matter. Like any industrial process, they need to be regulated, managed carefully, or there'll be unacceptable impacts.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be regulated. You need to regulate this industry, no doubt about it. And oil and gas drilling is regulated by states, unless it's offshore, like federal. But the state that's on top on regulation would be Texas. Oregon doesn't have any regulations on it. Some states are developing regulations on it. Some states have a moratorium on it. It's a state's issue.
States regulate the oil and gas industry. Those states where most of the activities occurring in Pennsylvania, Ohio, North Dakota, and elsewhere have already taken action to regulate the industry, and they've done it appropriately. We support robust regulation. We just think if you go too far, you discourage the very investment you're trying to create.
We ought to fully disclose the chemicals that are involved with this. Hydraulic fracking was exempted from the Clean Water Act, and that's unacceptable and inappropriate. Second, we ought to make sure that the gas that is fracked, that is produced by that, that we make sure that we're not having it leak, because the methane that leaks out actually is a worse greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide. So we need to make sure that that's done properly.
Our question for Congress is, what regulations could Congress enforce that will make fracking safer for the environment and communities?